We are outside the map, and today we're telling you about the monuments we lost during World War II, the most devastating conflict of the 20th century. Millions of lives were lost, but hundreds of monuments, castles, churches, museums, and palaces also vanished. Some were wiped out forever, others were rebuilt, and in many places, bullet holes and broken walls can still be seen. Today, we're taking you on a journey through some of the most important historical monuments destroyed or damaged during World War II, and a few that still carry the visible scars of the conflict. Monuments that were destroyed: Royal Castle of Warsaw, Poland. For centuries, it was a symbol of the Polish monarchy and a center of power. In 1939, it was bombed by the Nazis. And in 1944, they demolished it completely after the Warsaw Uprising. Today, you can visit a detailed reconstruction based on photos, blueprints, and even paintings. But the original building is gone. Queen's Hall, London. It was the original home of the famous BBC Proms and one of the UK's top classical music venues. In 1941, it was destroyed by a bomb during an air raid. It was never rebuilt. A new concert hall was built elsewhere, but Queen's Hall is lost forever. Hiroshima Castle, Japan. The original castle was built in the 16th century. In August 1945, the atomic bomb destroyed almost all of Hiroshima, including this castle. What stands today is a reconstruction from 1958. Inside, there's a museum about the city's history. Frauenkirche of Dresden, Germany, one of the most iconic examples of German Baroque architecture. It was completely destroyed during the bombing of Dresden in February 1945. For decades, its ruins stood as a memorial. In 2005, it was finally rebuilt using many of the original stones. Amber Room, Russia. Catherine Palace, near St. Petersburg. A room entirely covered in amber, gold, and mirrors, once considered the eighth wonder of the world. In 1941, the Nazis dismantled it and took it to Königsberg, now Kaliningrad. Since then, it has vanished. A replica was opened in 2003, but the original remains a mystery. Curiosity. The most popular theory is that it was destroyed in a bombing, but others believe the Nazis hid it in underground mines or on a ghost train. The search for the original room continues. It's still one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of looted World War II art. Château de Saint-Cloud, France. This royal palace near Paris had already been damaged in earlier wars, but World War II bombings finished what was left. Today, only gardens remain. The main building is gone. Entire cities erased. Warsaw, Poland. The city was almost completely leveled by the Nazis during and after the 1944 uprising. Around 85% of its buildings were destroyed, including churches, palaces, entire neighborhoods. The historic center was rebuilt in detail, but much of today's city is a modern replica. Coventry, United Kingdom. The medieval city center was destroyed in a single 1940 bombing. Coventry Cathedral was left in ruins and preserved as a memorial. A modern cathedral was built next to it. The two stand side by side, a symbol of destruction and renewal. Ordure-sur-Glane, France. This village was the site of a massacre by the SS in 1944. 643 people were killed, and the town was burned to the ground. The French government chose not to rebuild it. The ruins remain untouched as a memorial. You can still visit. Charred houses, rusted cars, and remnants of what once was. Damaged and rebuilt monuments. Monte Cassino Monastery, Italy. Founded in the 6th century, it was destroyed by Allied bombings in 1944 under the belief that Germans were using it as a stronghold. In fact, no soldiers were inside. The building was fully rebuilt in the following years, but many artworks were lost. University Library of Leuven, Belgium. Burned by the Germans in 1914 and rebuilt, only to be destroyed again in 1940. Thousands of manuscripts, incunabula, and rare books were lost. What you see today is a reconstruction. Most original documents are gone. St. Lambert's Church, Münster, Germany. The church still stands but was badly damaged by bombings. On its tower, you can still see the iron cages where the bodies of Anabaptist leaders were hung in the 16th century. It also bears visible shrapnel marks. Synagogues in Central Europe. During the war, many Baroque and medieval synagogues were deliberately destroyed by the Nazis. Most in Warsaw, Krakow, and Berlin were wiped out. A few, like those in Prague, were rebuilt, but many vanished entirely. Places where the war still shows: Brandenburg Gate, Berlin. Today, it's one of Germany's most iconic landmarks, but during the war, it saw intense fighting. If you look closely, you can still spot bullet marks on its columns. Gedächtniskirche, Berlin. The Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church was bombed and its main tower left in ruins. It was intentionally not rebuilt. A modern church was constructed next to it. Seeing both side by side is striking. Museum of the Resistance, Lyon, France. Housed in a building once used as a Gestapo headquarters, its facade still has bullet holes from executions. They were never covered up. They're part of the museum. The site commemorates the French resistance and the victims of Nazi occupation. Heidelberg Castle, Germany. Much of its destruction predates World War II, but it also suffered damage during the conflict. The ruins were left as they are and today draw many visitors. It's one of Germany's most visited and melancholic castles. Hotel Reichshof, Hamburg. This historic hotel survived the war, but its facade still shows shrapnel scars. Many other buildings in Hamburg, Berlin, Munich, or Frankfurt also retain these marks. They're not always obvious, but if you look closely, they're there. These are just a few of the monuments that World War II destroyed, damaged, or marked forever. Many were rebuilt, others were lost for good, and some still show their scars. Traveling through Europe or Japan means following these traces. Ruined churches, unreconstructed buildings, bullet-ridden facades, squares missing something. Not everything that was destroyed can be brought back. But what remains, even a single stone, helps us remember what happened. Did you find this video interesting? Give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more content. See you in the next video.